Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. There's still a morning. I know it's till 12 o'clock. It's a morning. It's hard to talk about the speakers which talk about the same. That's new in procurement policy in the Baltic states. It was very nice to hear Dins and Christian about some key points in their countries. But me personally, I would like to continue the session with Lithuanian procurement policy, essentials and key things. So let me firstly introduce, I would like to point some key facts regarding Rail Baltica project in Lithuania. Total Rail Baltica track length in Lithuania from Polish border till Latvian border, including Vilnius-Kaunas connection, is approximately 400 kilometers. Additionally, there will be several major local objects and facilities to be built alongside as well, like Kaunas Central Station, Kaunas Airport Station, depots and others. Project timeline. As you can see, we have ended the whole preparation stage, which included feasibility study, environmental impact assessments, and preparation of special plan. As a result, now we have a route of railway clearly fixed. And now we are in the land acquisition stage, which I talked about more shortly. After land acquisition is done, technical design will follow next, and while the major procurements on construction are expected in the end of 2019 or beginning of 2020. These dates, of course, are preliminary and depend on the developments of project. Also, let me quickly go through a bit more about detail what will be main works in project implementation in Lithuania during the next years. First, there is a land acquisition process, which was just mentioned. The process has started on 21st of January this year, when our government approved the special plan and formally started the land acquisition process. This year will be launched procurement for services preparation and implementation of land acquisition plan. Once the supplier is chosen, his main task will include the preparation of land acquisition project and the valuation of property. After those are done, land acquisition process will finish with compensation of losses. The whole process might take longer, as there might be some disputes that will have to be solved maybe in courts. The second thing for project implementation in Lithuania is the central part, or as we said, the missing links on Kaunas node. Currently, we have a newly European gauge railway which reaches Kaunas Central Station. And one of the key goals now is to connect the Palemonas terminal with a European gauge. Such connection would allow to serve the potential freight flows from you can see maybe from South, but we said from Western Europe, and make the Palemonas terminal as one of the key destinations. The connection to Palemonas terminal will be made through the bypass, which is marked on orange or yellow. While the top section, which goes through the Kaunas city, will be used for passenger services. I would like to say that procurements for two of the main sections on the central part were terminated just recently due to high prices, which exceeded the budget. As a result, the tender documents now are being reviewed, and tenders will be shortly repeated. Now on to the main topic, the procurements. To begin, I thought it would be interesting to have a quick look on the overall performance of all Lithuanian public procurements and their compliance with European Union rules. Over the last few years, the situation with public procurements in Lithuania is getting better. The procurements are more transparent. There is a better understanding between contracting authorities and the contractors. Here I outlined several public procurement performance indicators which I thought to be more interesting and most relevant ones. As you can see in the slide, the average time between the deadline for submission of proposals and award of contract is 61 days. In comparison to European average, it's good result, which means that the contracts are awarded without a big delay. For me, it was significant to learn that almost a quarter of contracts are awarded when there was just one bidder in the procurement. Of course, this is not relevant to big procurements, but it shows that often the procurement procedure lacks competition qualification, qualified contractors, or simply a greater interest from the business. Also, maybe qualification requirements are not always set right. Finally, it can be noted that average of cases on public procurements in Lithuania takes around 60 days, which also is a decent result. There were some developments in the process of transposition of the new European Union public procurement directives, as our parliament has just recently approved the laws transposing them. And contrary to that, we had in Lithuania now instead of one complicated law, there will be two laws. One for the so-called, thank you, so-called for classical sector, and one for the utility sector. And in additional new laws, there will also be some additional legal acts which will regulate certain areas of public procurement in more detail, and such acts will be mainly adopted by Lithuanian Public Procurement Office, which is a body monitoring, supervising public procurements in Lithuania. Transposing new European directives, that's new. There will be some changes in public procurement procedures after new laws come in force on 1st of July this year. I will quickly cover of them which should be most relevant to the contractors. Firstly, the most economically advantageous tender will become the main contract award criteria and will change price only criteria which was used in most cases up to now. Also important thing will be introduction of a European single procurement document. It's very, very good, and this should be reduced, the workload. As many, and as I understand, it will be only the winner of the tender. We will submit the whole package of the documents, qualification documents, and that's That's all. Maybe they will win. It should be pointed out that the term of submission of proposals will also be reduced in case of an international tenders from 52 days to 35. In addition, some new grounds for exclusion from procurements will now be applied. These grounds will now include tax debts, professional misconduct, and others. As a first thing, when I'm talking about specifics in Lithuania, public procurement, I should note in Lithuania, public procurements are fully digitalized. I would like to underline that. This means that all tender announcements, submission of proposals, and other steps are made electronically on public procurement database. And next stages of public procurement, contract implementation are also being moved to digital space. I would like to know how many of you knows Lithuanian? Can you hands up? Not so much. All of you may be from Latvia. But it's an advantage. As you can see in my slide, it's not a secret. Lithuanian language must be also taken in account, but public procurement documents can be drafted in Lithuanian and any other language, while tender offers and all internal documents, you see, also have to be in Lithuanian language. Okay, it's not a secret that public procurements are an area which leads many disputes that are negative for all of parties which were involved. In Lithuania, there is, as I know, that we have a difference between Latvia and Estonia, because they have, but in Lithuania there is no third body for out-of-court dispute resolution. As in the first stage, the contractor has to file and address his complaint and or claim directly to contracting authority. If the complaint or claim was not met, then the contractor has the right to apply to court. It's by our national regulations. And finally, I would like to end of this presentation to few honest tips for those who would like to participate and interested in the Rail Baltica project and would like to participate in public procurements. Stay informed, prepare in advance, and get familiar with the projects. And here you can find free websites where you can just every day in the morning when you're drinking coffee, look what's happening in this area. So thank you once again, and have a good session.